and welcome to Transforming Language Education, the vodcast series where we will talk about the future of teaching, inquiry, and advocacy in language education. I'm Jen Crawford.
And I'm Rob Philback. Please like or subscribe if you want to join us in helping to transform language education. All right, welcome everyone. We're here with part 3 in our conversation with Dr. Emmy Min. And in this segment, we are going to be talking with Dr. Min about her experience as an English language specialist through the Georgetown University State Department program. And we just love to learn about what you've done, Dr. Min, what takeaways were from this, and perhaps even how you might encourage others to take part in amazing opportunities like this. Can you just start by telling us a little bit about what the opportunity involved and how you learned about it?
Yeah, I mean, I have colleagues who've gone through the process of applying and serving as the fellow, and who is a longer term project, like for about a year or so. And there is a specialist program sponsored by the U.S. Department of State, and I applied for that because I am a teacher educator myself, and I just wanted to, make sure that my expertise could reach out to other population who might need it. So I applied for it. And then you write an application and you ask for letters of recommendations. And those people who are writing letters of recommendations would be uploading their letters. And you're in their system until that they have a match for you. And when there is a match, and of course the embassy who's sponsoring that project and the folks there will be interviewing you to see if you're a good fit. And then there might be several candidates there that they want to interview and to see who's the best fit. And then if you get selected, and the specialist program is usually a shorter term, like a couple of weeks to a couple of months. Sometimes you go to the country to actually do the projects, or you have a virtual project. And this time for me, it was a virtual project, and that lasted 3 weeks. And, I worked with teachers in Turkey at a university level, and who were trying to, learn how to design a best assessments for their students. So it was.
So tell us more about what you did. So how many teachers did you work with? And you delivered a series of workshops, or was it interactive?
And yes. Were they doing language assessments more broadly, or were they designing specifically English as foreign language assessments?
Yeah, the Turkish embassy, they approached me and told me that they don't want a lecture style workshop, and which really aligned with my philosophy of teaching. So it worked out well. So it was more of like an interactive, hands-on type of a workshop where I'll be asking them to bring the examples from their assessments that they give to their students. And these are the teachers and those that work in test centers in their respective universities. So they already know a great deal about assessments, and they have been doing this for years and years. So they will be bringing their assessments, and we as a group will be analyzing the assessments, and based on the 6 principles that I talked about in a previous session. And then we would be sharing our insights and feedback, and giving some suggestions on that. And sometimes I would give some examples for them to consider. And so it was very interactive, hands-on, and it was a great opportunity for everybody to learn. Okay.
Did you find that the issues that the participants in these workshops brought to you and discussed as they thought about assessment were quite similar to things that you hear about, or were there things that were quite unique or distinctive in terms of the particular context that they were working in?
Yeah, it was surprising that they were. I learned a lot from their practice too. That they were. They favor certain types of assessments, like closed assessments and multiple choice questions, and some open-ended questions, but they were not using it for their what they call proficiency exam, which was given to all students in their university. And then they have like specific, classroom level achievement tests. And one of the key issues that they brought up was rater reliability. I mean, how do we train these raters who would, how from different backgrounds, and how do we make sure that we have a reliability when they grade these assessments, and those were the discussions. One thing that was quite similar to those some of the other teachers that I worked with, the issues that they brought up, and the exercise that I had given to these teachers was that I had given a student sample writing, and they're written by intermediate level language learner, and I asked them to review this, assess this, and give feedback, okay, to this hypothetical student, and without giving any further guidelines or without giving any rubric. Okay, so what they would say, just like the other teachers that I work with, these teachers said, "Oh, grammar, spelling, punctuation, organizations." All right, so these are the things that the student needs to work on further to improve this particular writing. Okay, great. These are all very important elements of language that we need to give our students the feedback on. So I gave them the next draft. I already prepared a revision of that draft based on all of these different features that I thought would come out, like mechanics of writing, grammar, and I gave them the next draft, and I asked them to review the draft again. And they would do that. And a lot of teachers, 99% of the teachers that I've worked with, would say grammar, mechanical errors, spelling, organization, now punctuation, let's add punctuation or capitalization. And then I asked them, what about the content? Has the student, do a good job on developing the content with details, relevant examples? Is the writing, using examples that are relevant? Is it developing the ideas? Is the argument strong? I mean, those are the kind of things that teachers, including myself, we're often neglecting when we're reviewing the student work. Because we're language teachers, we bring with us this lens of language when we're reviewing the student work. So I challenge them to design a robust rubric that is based on evidence-based construct that includes content, for example, because writing, we want to communicate our core messages to the readers, and it's not, well, of course, then we have to make sure that our the grammar or the errors don't interfere with the content of the writing, but that's not, well, to me, it's not the main objective of writing, right? So the content is the main objective, especially, for language learners, they need to be empowered to learn to convey the topic, at hand too. So then these teachers developed a rubric that included this part that they missed in the first round, and then they assessed this writing all over again, and they gave it feedback based on that. So this was a practice, and this is practice for them to use evidence-based practice and also use robust rubric and grading criteria, and also share that expectations with their students so that it can be empowered, and they know, the students, language learners, know how to write an effective essay, for example, in this case, so that it aligns with the teacher's expectations, and also they can communicate their thoughts effectively.
Dr. Min, that's such a powerful example. And in closing, I was wondering, do you have any words of advice or any recommendations for other educators who are thinking about applying to the same program?
Yes, of course. And this is such a rewarding experience. And we're working with people, the actual people who are working with their students in a moment. So I highly encourage all those who have the expertise and experience and would apply to opportunities like that. And sometimes, I learned a lot from those participants about the assessment practices, the things that I haven't thought of in the past, and that really reminded me. And I am doing, I think that I want to do some projects with them, and they reached out to me, and we'll be doing other projects that are related to what we have talked about in the workshops. So one thing leads to another, and this is a great way to network and great way to get to know the practices that are happening around the world in the world of TESOL. So I encourage everybody to apply.
Wonderful. So thank you, Dr. Mann. Really wonderful conversation. Thanks for your insights around this experience with the English Language Specialist program. And we really want to thank you for your time and just appreciate being able to speak with you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.